I have a lot to thank this city for. I have a lot to thank the people of Taichung for. But Taichung itself has given me like a real, a meaning to my life.
Honestly, I don't have anything against Taichung.
You better not have anything against Taichung or I'll fight you. I'll fight you in the streets outside.
Next question.
Hey.
I thought I was the YouTuber with the most colorful background. Is this Taiwan or like Hawaii? Where are you?
Don't give away my secret. Yeah, I've upgraded my lights a little bit.
It makes you look a lot thinner.
Yeah, it's all in the lighting. People keep asking me how I've lost so much weight, and it's just spent $800 on Taobao. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? Should I ruin the surprise for you? Don't you know what you have given yourself into? Do you want to know what we're going to talk about, or should this be a surprise as we go along, Alan?
You can surprise me. You're the host. I'm just here to be riding your wave, Lukas. So you feel free to let me know whenever you want.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm still very much trying to figure out how this whole podcast career is going to work. I thought it was just going to be exactly the same thing. You just do it with less stress, but it's actually a lot different and a lot more stress. Now I need to worry about to make everything clear without having all these different effects and explanations coming up, because people need to understand it based on only the voice, which is very different.
It's a different method of storytelling for sure. So you just have to kind of manipulate your style and think about what you're going to say before you say it. But we're going to do one too. Me and Prozzy are doing a podcast, but just only for our Patreons. So it's going to be paid behind a paywall. So there's going to be lots of juicy, real life, raw, uncut life in Taiwan stories going in there. So
okay, well, if anyone is daring enough to give it a try, maybe they should become your patrons then. Speaking about your podcast or your upcoming podcast, I just wanted to take a moment and thank you for joining my podcast.
Oh, so we haven't started yet.
It's very special for me because you will always have a special place in my heart, Alan. Because you are...
Ah, it's so sweet.
You are the first YouTuber that I actually made a video with back in, I think, February 2019.
I've been joined by one of Taiwan's up-and-coming new YouTubers. This is Lukas Engström.
Yes. When you were so kind to invite me down to Taichung for a full day with Alan from Life in Taiwan, and we ended up spending 2 hours at IKEA. Believe it or not, but I actually prepared a few questions for you for this episode. But before we actually go into those questions, I just wanted to share some anecdotes, like my first memories of Alan, since we're talking about the personal idea. This is even more exclusive than the future Patreon podcast, I think.
Yeah, because I've got no idea what you're going to say.
Because I just also wanted to share some behind the scenes. And I think the first impression I had of you before actually knowing you, this is 2.5 years ago, so I feel like I can now get this off my chest. My first impression of you,
oh Jesus Christ, man,
was that you may not be the most serious YouTuber out there.
Depends what you mean by that. Do you mean I didn't take YouTube seriously? Yeah, serious personality.
And my first impression was basically this is a somewhat lazy foreigner that fits all the stereotypes. He's an English teacher. He accidentally stumbled upon a camera. He just recorded his own laid-back, lazy life in Taiwan, and somehow, for reasons that no one can explain, people liked to watch that, and he could actually end up getting money for that.
Yeah, you've hit the nail right on the head, pretty much.
A full, complete Taiwanese breakfast that I have absolutely, completely demolished.
But this is where the story takes a positive turn, because during that first day when I met you, I did realize you taught me a lot on how you actually make efficient YouTube videos, because it's so much work required in order to make a video look like there's no work done.
It's always a bit weird, sort of following someone else's ways and schedules and filming styles, but
I know exactly what you mean.
And
when you mention the word efficient, that sums me up. I wouldn't say lazy, I wouldn't say super hardworking, but I'm incredibly hardworking for the minimum amount of time that I need to be hardworking. I think is the perfect way to be. And I don't understand why anyone wouldn't want to be that way. I realized there's no need to have incredible overproduction. When I stumbled upon a camera, literally used my iPhone for the first 60 or 70,000 subscribers, and then thought I needed a camera, which I'm using now, the same one, haven't bought a new one in 3 years. But of course, then, like you said, the professional comes in when I have a sponsored video or a YONGHE case that I need to up my game and up my production level, which is where you come in. If I need my videos to look professional, I ask Lukas to come and film them for me, and that's basically how it works.
I've got my best clothes on as it's going to be a press conference. I've got Lukas behind the camera filming absolutely everything.
Well, you will be happy to know that someone bought a new camera today.
You did?
Yeah.
What did you buy?
Canon C70.
Oh man, that's nice.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different ball game. That's like one of the cinematic cameras, right?
It is, yeah. I wanted to try to up the game a little.
Oh, damn it. I really should pay you for that last gig then, right? Because you're going to need every penny you can get out this.
You haven't paid. You have. Okay. So Alan is hiring me to record his videos, and then he hasn't paid for like 6 months.
My bank account doesn't transfer to your bank, Lukas, and I haven't seen you.
And then he joins the live stream and saying that I will give you a super chat, which you can deduct from the payment that I owe you. But then, like, YouTube takes like 30% of all the super chats. So I'm
okay,
like,
you can include the 30% in the deduction.
and the absolute first impression I had of Alan in person, I was sitting in a Louisa coffee waiting for Alan. He comes in on his phone, and he had just released a YouTube video, and he's just scrolling on his phone up and down. Before I have time to ask him, like, what are you doing? His phone rings, and it's William. And you explain to him, hey, William, I'm about to work right now. I will call you back. And I think that those two things, now since I've known you for 2.5 years, and I think that I didn't realize it at the time, but those two things, I think really, really summarizes you very well, which is a part that I don't think other people might know about you. First of all, of course, everyone should know about William. I don't think they realize or know how much you actually care and are in communication with him throughout on a daily basis.
Yeah, of course, he's my son. Like, but I know what you mean. I get your point. It doesn't often come through in videos and stuff. Yeah.
And the second one is how much you actually check the YouTube analytics. I think.
Yeah, I still do it. I even today I haven't released a video for 5 days. You know, it's really like probably not very good for my mental health, but it's my job and it pays my bills. It pays for William's education. So yeah, I mean, I have to say, like, we're pretty good friends, but you know me like one of my best friends would. Like, so yeah, that's a good summary. I'll accept that. And you didn't say some of the stuff that you could have said, which I really appreciate.
Oh no, I could say a lot more worse things about Alan, but I think we will leave that to your Patreon podcast actually. But yeah, I mean, you kind of ruined my script here because you skipped ahead like 15 minutes in this podcast. Because I was just gonna ask you, because when I first met you, you were not a full-time YouTuber, but
no, not at all. I was a bushy band teacher.
But already then you cared a lot about like the analytics, and you had the goal of becoming full-time YouTuber. So I just wanted to check now, when it has been your job for 1.5 years now.
Yeah.
How has that changed for your channel? You already said that you're still checking just as much. Is it more stressful, and do you care more about the numbers than you would like 2.5 years ago?
I have to say, like, and this is not an exclusive, but it's kind of like a pretty obvious thing that some people don't know about. We make a lot of money from sponsored videos and sponsored posts and pays and things like that. So the numbers and the figures are kind of there to keep the channel growing and keep the channel moving forwards. Because if the channel isn't moving forwards or growing, then I'm maybe going to lose out on sponsors or lose out on sponsored posts. So it's kind of a different way of thinking. I think of it way more as a stepping stone to maybe something different in the future. Another big YouTube channel offering me a hosting job on their channel, or, you know, there's lots of different avenues I could go down, but what was the question?
Okay. Now we need to sort this out once and for all. Am I a bad interviewer? Because every single one I tried to just ask questions, they always ask, what was the question? Am I doing something wrong on this side of here, or what is happening? I only interview and ask YouTubers who literally spend hours talking, replying to questions,
Yeah, exactly.
asking questions. I always get this.
No, I think it's a skill. I think it's something we both need to learn about. Like when you're doing a podcast, is giving the other person chance to speak. You ask an open question and give me chance to talk. And like you say, we're all YouTubers, so we love having a train of thought that flows from one point to the next. And often you flow around and end up in a place where you're like, oh, hang on a minute. And it's no shame for me to say this. And it's something I've not really talked about. But I go to see like a mental health therapist every week, and she often does this, and she's obviously trained in this therapy and getting me to talk. I do it even when she asks me a question. She'll ask me like, tell me about this event and how did it affect you? Or how did it make you feel? And I'll go on this mad 5-minute story, and then I'll be like, oh, but you asked about that event. How did that make me feel? I felt really good. You know what I mean? So like, I'm used to talking all the time, except usually with her, I have to pay for it. But here it feels like chatting to a friend. So I have to bring it back to remember what the question was.
After trying to interview the Canadians, I'm used to it. So it's fine.
And another problem is like, I'm talking to my friends. So I feel very free and relaxed to say whatever I want when I'm talking to you or Prozzy or Wes or whatever. So
it could also be the gin and tonic.
It's not this. It's not this one. It was the 17 that I drank before it, probably.
I'm not really there yet that I can say that I can live on my sponsor videos, but
you can live on your views, bro. You must have like 1 million views this month.
Yes, I have actually. It's my first time. 1.2. Yeah, my first month with over 1 million views.
最棒，你最棒，真的 I'm really happy for you. Like I said in my one video where I feel like jealous of people who get more views than me and stuff. There's like a certain group of people where I only want to see them succeed and I only want to see them grow. And it's like, I would never be jealous if Prozzy or yourself or who's that French guy, Ku? Like if he could get 1 million views, I'd be so happy for him. You know what I mean? But
that would never happen though anyway. So what's the point of hoping for it?
He would never get 1 million views. He's more like 3, 4, 5 a month. But anyway, I'm really happy regardless of anyone's level. I'm just happy of their success because I feel the reciprocal love and the reciprocal feeling. So it's not a jealous feeling. It's really good. And I just hope that I'm in those suggested videos next to your 500,000 view bangers. That's the goal, is to be in those suggested section.
I see that as same thing, like, because first you kind of need to get people used to watch YouTube to begin with, and then you need to get people in Taiwan to watch foreigners. So like where everyone is in the same team, just trying to get people interested in watching foreigners. And,
for sure. Like, that's completely what it is. The market needs to grow basically, and then we can all benefit. It's what you call a symbiotic relationship. Do you know that?
Yes.
Like in nature, where the little fish feed off the whale's skin. Just depends on which one is the whale and which one is the little fish.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comparison, actually. I mean, you said that you're trying to be as efficient as possible to do like the minimum amount of work. For you, YouTube, with all what that includes, is your job. How? Why are you smiling?
Because I know a question you're going to ask me next. I know what you're going to ask me.
Okay, what am I going to ask you?
You're going to ask me like how much work do I put into a week of YouTube or something like that?
No, I was not going to ask that. But how much work are you putting in a week of YouTube?
Like a good solid 2 or 3 days a week. And I'm talking like 4 or 5 hours a day, like 4 or 5 full hours, 2 to 3 days a week. And that's hard work.
Beautiful. My actual question though was, do you live like Monday to Friday and then you take the weekend or any other days off? Or
no, I kind of have Saturday off where I will maybe have a few beers on Friday night and then just laze around the house on Saturday. And then if I'm doing 2 videos a week, then I'm working like 6 days a week on that. I don't have a set schedule. I don't have a team yet. I don't have an office. So it's very laissez-faire. It's very free on how I can manage my time. And if a friend wants to go for drinks on a Thursday night, I can be like, you know what? Let's do it. I'll publish my video on Saturday instead, and I'll have drinks on a Thursday. As a YouTuber from
gin and tonics.
Oh, if it's a Thursday, it's probably more like 12, but a Friday could be 18. Yeah. So yeah, no. To answer your question, do I have a schedule or what's my routine? Very free. Very free. Which I'm lucky to say that I can live like that. Yeah.
What would it take for you to say like, you know what, this week was good or this month was good? Do you have any like goals that you try to reach every month or?
Yeah, 1 million views. Like 1 million views is like a banger month. Like I think I've only ever been there once. Like if I can publish 8 videos regardless of views, then I can feel like a real self-worth that I've put out like 2 videos a week. And if I make close to $2,000 US, then I would consider that like a good enough week to call myself a full-time YouTuber. And then if you throw in a sponsored video into there, if I can do that, then I feel like I'm doing all right. I'm not making millions of dollars, but I'm doing way better than I was as a teacher. Like way better. That's what I want to make clear. I'm not making millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm just doing better than I was as a teacher. Simple as that. Who would not choose that life if you can do that? And people tell me, oh, Alan, you should have a part-time job. Well, I've got a sponsored video coming up in 2 weeks from now, and it's a Wednesday filming day. And if I had a teaching job, I would have to refuse that. And this sponsored video is probably, it's a considerable amount of money that would affect my income if I had to refuse it. And if I had a teaching job, I just wouldn't cancel on the kids to take a sponsored video. I would keep my class and say, can I film the video on a Saturday? The client will say, no, you need to film on a Wednesday. We'll find someone else. So I can't just take on another job. People get so angry with me when they hear that I don't teach and I don't commit myself to a part-time job, but then I would be letting them down if another video came in. I could talk about this all day, by the way.
Yeah, me too. I'm very biased, but I think I will do a shameless plug here and say that this will be another podcast episode where we will actually geek into like your YouTube. So if that is something that you want to see, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Also check out Alan's channel as well, so you get a little bit more information on all of this. But for the rest of this episode, I actually wanted to discuss a very important thing, Alan, because was it 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago? You made a little video.
Yeah, what did I talk about?
Where you tried to impersonate a Taipei person, and you were talking on behalf of Taipei that Taipei is the greatest place on earth, or one of the world's greatest places.
Oh, I totally stepped on your shoes. I stepped all over your toes.
I feel that if you have made a decision to move down to Taichung, then you simply should not care about what the rest of the world think about Taipei being the world's greatest place.
Taipei, culture, and quiet. Huh?
It was a little bit of negativity there. I could smell the jealousy all the way down from Taichung. That Taichung was not part of Time's list of the world's greatest places.
Well, why would we be? We don't have a big, massive silver ball or a Sheraton hotel or whatever, or Hilton hotel. Jesus Christ.
So much. I don't think you can ever expect a sponsorship from Hilton Hotel, by the way.
Not the f***ing Hilton Hotel.
I don't think so. I think but that story was just the first night me and my wife, we met together in the Milton Keynes Hilton Hotel. And we basically fell in love immediately that day, and it was in a Hilton hotel, so memories.
Yeah, so basically I just wanted to talk a little bit about not necessarily this video and your hatred to Times Magazine or Taipei, but a little bit about Taipei versus Taichung. There are some questions that at least I need to clear out. And who else would be better to explain this to me than Alan, who
Taichung's #1 YouTuber,
who is a symbiotic relationship with Taichung, a new word that we learned here today.
Oh, that is true. We have a very symbiotic relationship in this city.
I would say that Alan has made Taichung a better place. And the question is, has Taichung made Alan a better Alan?
You're asking me? Wow, that's a good question. Well, yeah, I think for sure, living in this city has made me into the person that I've become, and I feel like I'm a better human being than I was when I was 24 or 25 when I came. So I have a lot to thank this city for. I have a lot to thank the people of Taichung for, the students that have grown up alongside me, teaching them for 10 or 12 years, whatever it was. I simply love this city. And of course, everybody says we love Taiwan, Taiwan. That's true. It is my country now, but Taichung itself has given me a real, a meaning to my life. It's given me a home. I don't want to just pie map pee. I hate this conception or this idea that we kiss ass and we brown nose. But if a country is really good to you or a city is really good to you, then you show thanks. You don't highlight the pollution too often or highlight the traffic too often. You genuinely want other people to experience the benefits that outweigh those negatives. So why the hell not say I love this city, which I genuinely do?
No, I totally agree.
I feel like I'm arguing. You're not arguing with me, but I'm just arguing with myself.
I'm feeling like you got very defensive there for Taichung. It was a simple question here, but I just wanted to see how would you say that your life would be different if you would be living up in Taipei versus Taichung? Why is your life better in Taichung than it would have been up in Taipei?
I think Taichung is a real working class city. It's got a stronger working value than Taipei. Taipei has a more metropolis, like modern world, financial, upper class kind of feel to it. By no stretch of the imagination am I an upper class person. I'm very working class. We don't come from money or anything. So I feel like Taichung is like an industrial city. I know that every city in Taiwan is very industrious, but I just feel like Taipei has too much glitz and glamour and affluence, like too much wasted money. There's no need to spend $30,000 or $40,000 on an apartment when you can spend $10,000 on an apartment and be very happy and comfortable. And I feel like that's sort of born in the Taichungese people, where they're more working class. The city I come from back home is Liverpool, which is also a port city like Taichung, and I feel it kind of resonates with me that it's industrial, it's working class, it's just salt of the earth people. So that's how I feel it's different to Taipei, and it matches my personality a little bit better.
Okay, that's a very fair answer. I'm not gonna tell you how much my new camera costed, and I think we're gonna skip over to a new question here. Honestly, I don't have anything against Taichung. You have told me for 2.5 years that it's a wonderful place.
You better not have anything against Taichung, or I'll fight you. I'll fight you in the streets outside.
Next question. Okay, but honestly, on top of my head, my top 3 places in Taichung that I know, and that, because we know when we're out traveling, I don't know how it is for you, but for me, it's like, I don't really pay attention to where I am in Taiwan. So I've been to especially like when we go out and do like a sponsored video for a client somewhere, then the places just kind of like blurring together. So I would know block of a street somewhere, but I would not be able to tell, oh, that was in Taichung, or that was in Tainan, or that was in Kaohsiung. You know, it's
that's
just like
insane. That's so crazy. That's
for me, it's like
racist against Taichung cities,
because
Taiwan cities.
For me, it's like, okay, how do I get there? Okay, I take the HSR south, and is it Miaoli? Is it Taichung? Is it Tainan? Is it Kaohsiung? No one really knows when I'm out traveling.
Such a Taipei attitude. That's such a Taipei attitude.
Okay,
I don't even take the Gaotie. I use the bus. I use Guoguang or Tianlu.
I am gonna give you the chance to defend Taichung's honor here, because I honestly, hands on heart, I'm not trying to like look down on Taichung right now, but if you would ask me right now, name 3 things in Taichung, honestly, hand on heart, the only places I would be able to 100% confidence know are in Taichung, or the IKEA that you took me to.
Oh my God.
And it is the Nova, where I got like the camera store. And I know there's a very, very famous ice cream shop next to the train station.
Yeah.
Once this pandemic started in May, we went down to the Rainbow Village as well. So it's 4 places. Even though with these 4 places, it's not like, oh, you know what, that's where I want to spend my next 12 years. So obviously I have missed something, Alan.
Okay, I'm not going to sit here and list all of the beautiful places in Taichung, which I could do, including like Taichung Park that was built in the Japanese era that represents a real slice of Taiwan's history. The port in Taichung, where countless ships and boats and industries have been started, and how the central businesses of Taiwan rely on that port to bring in their raw materials for making products to send to the rest of the world. All of that is superfluous to my personal reasons. The hospital where my son was born, like, that's it. That's number 1. The first restaurant where I came to, and I was in Dongshi County in the middle of nowhere, and this restaurant didn't have a fork, and they thought that I couldn't use chopsticks. So they ran to 4 different restaurants to find me a fork. Like, out of 4 restaurants, they only had 1 fork, like to eat my first ever beef noodles.
one per foreigner in Taichung.
It's basically, and then the family that welcomed me into their business and gave me a job as a teacher, and it found me somewhere to live and paid my rent, and they invited me to their family events and connected me to the city. Like, on the first days and weeks of living here, the scenery of Dongshi County, the mountains of Guguan where I would go walking, the Dajia River where I would go swimming, and then the locals would tell me that you can't swim in the river, and so many memories that I just built through having a life and experiences in a place. So what if we don't have Taipei 101 or Kaohsiung Basa'u? Kaohsiung Ba'u? Why did I think it was Basa'u? Oh, that was a nightclub in Taichung. 89K in Taichung. That was my first nightclub experience. my first Taiwan beer, you know, like all of these things happened in Taichung. And just like you love your home country or you love your hometown, that's the reason that I love Taichung. It's just where you developed my Taiwanese personality. It's where I became Taiwanese Nanzuhen. I became it here in Taichung. I don't expect anybody else to love it more or less than me because you're not me. You don't experience it the way I experience it. Me and Prosy have this conversation all the time. What can I do other than just tell you how I feel about a place? If you think it's terrible, then you're welcome to think it's terrible, or you're welcome to think it's the same as Miaoli or Jianghua or Jiayi. But they're not. They're completely individualistic places.
Okay.
Did I say enough?
I do apologize. Through those 13 years, it has never crossed your mind to say, you know what, let me just try 1 year in Taipei.
No, I thought about going to Kaohsiung last year, but that was a bad idea. Immediately, it was a bad idea because I would miss Taichung. Never considered moving to Taipei, not 1 second.
I have one more question on this rather sensitive topic, it sounds like.
Yeah, so, you're touching my Taichung bone.
So, I don't know if you mentioned this in your first video, but in one of your videos, you're mentioning that basically, I might very well touch another nerve here, so I do apologize. But 13 and a half years ago, you moved to Taiwan more or less only because it was like, quote unquote, the easiest way for you and your wife, girlfriend, I think at the time, to get the visa, right?
Basically, yeah.
So it was not like the desire to move to Taiwan, if I'm getting it correct.
Kind of. Like there was 4 or 5 options.
Right.
And she had actually been to Taiwan before, so we knew more about this country, but yeah, it could have been anywhere.
Because if most couple or people in that situation would, like, Taipei would be the natural choice. For basically, I mean, I truly believe that Taipei would be the natural choice for most foreigners, just because it's like a little bit closer to home, so to speak. So how...
Yeah, I can understand that.
How did you end up in Taichung?
I was given a job in Taichung, and that's where I was born into. Like I had an agent in Taiwan and in South Africa. They hooked up together. They had 2 jobs available in Dongshi County, and I just so happened to end up in Taichung.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't mean that I sought out Taichung or sought out a life here. But just like the other people that are born here, I just found myself here. And then through experiences, learned to fall in love with the place. And some things are not so good. Some things need more work. That was my Taiwan birthplace. So that's why I feel like I can say that I love it. Well, there you go.
That's cool. Always learn something new.
Yeah, I'm always teaching something new.
You said it yourself. You don't expect anyone to love Taichung as much or less than you do. But like, who is Taichung for? Who should move to Taipei and who should move to Taichung?
Like Taichung would be more suited if you're a family, if you're looking for a bit more respite or peace and quiet maybe, or a bit more easy access to nature while on a budget. But if you're just like 21 years old looking to come here and party or meet people from all over the world, then Taipei is probably going to be better for you. There's more nightlife, there's more interesting international restaurants, there's more museums and culture, I guess, in a way.
We have the art building coming next year.
I've heard all about it. It's a big, massive ball.
One of the world's greatest places, I've heard.
Yeah.
Literally took me 5 years, to even leave like the Taipei MRT
That's mental.
to even discover the HSR. So
yeah, well, you're welcome into Taichung anytime.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully, I'm gonna have a long weekend down in Kaohsiung. Some more podcast episodes with the YouTubers down there.
I'll be part of it. I'll be there. It's just the same place, right? Taichung and Kaohsiung are just the same place to you.
Okay, fair enough. I'm starting to feel like I'm gonna have like the whole Alan squad, you're just gonna hate me down in the comment section.
My team VVVIP are coming for you, bro.
Yeah. I even had like a little comment here that is like, you have lost so much weight, so it's obvious that the food in Taichung is not that good. But
yeah, the food in Taichung is too expensive during lockdown. I had to use Uber Eats, so I couldn't afford it anymore. Told you I didn't have any sponsored videos, right? So I've been starving myself.
Right. True. On a serious note, though, how has it been like for during COVID actually for you, like personally?
So we're all a little happy family here. We can look after each other, but yeah, it was tough. It was pretty mentally tough, but we got through it.
Perfect.
Here we are on the other side.
That was actually all I had today. I just wanted to get an idea of Taichung versus Taipei from you. And
I think I gave you a bit of spice there. Like, I really feel, but I've had this conversation with Prozzy on camera and off camera so many times before. Like, and when we're off camera, I get like a bit antsy and like frustrated with it, because it's like you're attacking the city that I've chosen. You're attacking the city that you're attacking my personal choice.
I hope you will invite me down again so we can enjoy all these places you were talking about outside of IKEA, the camera store in Nova, and having some ice cream by the train station.
Of course, the port is actually quite upper scale now. It's where all the rich engineers live. They live out there with their $1 million apartments and stuff, but that's another story to get into, property prices in the port. Yeah.
I just wanted to see here as well, before we end here, I have one last question. I think I'm quoting you here actually when you said that you're once again single and ready to mingle. And is there anything, do you want to do a plug for your Instagram so people know how to reach you, and what are the requirements to mingle with Mr. Taichung himself?
I'm not sure my Instagram is a good idea. That's how I met my last dalliance, and it didn't end too well. But yeah, slide into my DMs, Life in Taiwan 2017. I don't use any dating apps or anything like that, so please don't look for me there, but we'll have a chat. Simple as that. We'll make friends. 我们做朋友好不好？
好. Okay, thank you so much for being an honored guest number 3, I think. There was a sneaky podcast episode before there.
Okay, well, that's really a big pleasure. You're doing really well, man. Congratulations on the success of the podcast. I hope they continue. I hope the views continue to grow and that we can all benefit from everybody else's success. Let's make Taiwan great again. I'm sure that's been said before. No, but let's make Taiwan bigger on the world stage. That's the goal, right? It's to make Taiwan more well known and well recognized. We're all doing our best.
For sure. Would you happen to have any sponsored videos up in Taipei soon so I can try my new camera?
No, they're all in central Taiwan and southern Taiwan. I've got a couple in Chiayi and one in Tainan, so nothing in Taipei at the moment. When it comes up, I'll let you know.
And if that is something that you want to see, please do make sure to subscribe to this channel and also hitting that bell so you get notified as soon as I release that video. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lukas. It starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one.